Hello, before we start this video, I'm very sorry for any background noises that you may hear. I have my fish tank on, plus my little sister won't go the fuck to bed, so I'm sorry. Now we will carry on with the creepy story. I found this story on the Creepypasta Wiki. It is called Nails, and is going to be read to you by me, Aaron Button. They say that the hour of 3 a.m. is the time when spirits can become active, and I am sure of that. My apartment was always a little bit too quiet for one in the city, especially at night. No drunk shouting in the streets at that time, no sound of car horns or alarms that could penetrate the dark at that particular hour. It's like my apartment was on a high platform, surrounded by only a dense fog that the sharpest of hawk eyes couldn't penetrate. I was usually attempting to sleep at that time after bleaching my skin with the pure electric light of my computer screen. Emphasis on attempting, because from that stems this tale. I advise you, if you've been here long enough to find it, you'll soon discover of what I'm talking about. I should really tell you anyway, just so that you know you're not insane. I know I'm not. Every night, for the past 4 months, a strange sound would pierce the strange blur that surrounded my home. Or maybe it was just my mind. I've searched the apartment many times for it, but behind the hollow sounds of ivory walls and hard pine floors, I couldn't find any source. At first, it was scratching. If you have long fingernails, drag them along a table, like that. It was slow, and every time I heard it, I froze up. But it wasn't as dramatic as anything like ghostly moaning or anything like that, but it still scared me so much, I reverted back to childhood and stuck my head under a blanket. During the day, I worked at what could possibly be one of the most boring places on earth. A factory that stamped out cans. They didn't even need workers, but I didn't really care. It paid the bills, and getting to sit around until someone needed help fixing a machine wasn't too bad. I sort of miss it. There was always something bad happening, though. In retrospect, I feel as if though it was following me. For instance, a man's hand ended up being caught under the stamping machine on a sheet of aluminum. The crunch was sickening, like a dog chewing upon a bone. That same splintering sound. Every night, I would retire from this slightly gory boredom to my apartment, back to my beloved computer. The cycle was always the same. Work, computer, scratching sound. Work, computer, scratching sound, and so on and so forth. I never really thought to ask anyone about it. I would usually forget about it by the morning anyway. But one day, I didn't. I sat there in my folding chair at work, surrounded by the drab, bleak, grey concrete walls. A long-ignored cigarette that was gradually becoming one trembling tower of ashes in my grasp. Trying to think of a way to discover whatever this thing was. Why wouldn't I just follow it? Get my nerves together and find the continual source of fear for me. It made me cold just by the thought, but I knew I had to do it. So that night I turned off my computer as usual, but then I took one extra step. I grabbed a flashlight. It'd be faster than dashing across my room to my light switch. It could even be mice, I thought to myself as I slipped into my bed, wearing the hero's garb of any sleepy man, a pair of boxers and socks. At least if I ran out of my building crying, a few people could get a laugh. The clock slowly began to head towards 3. My heart began to pace nervously. Like a sword, I held the turned-off flashlight to my bare chest. The necklace around my neck felt strangely cold, even though I had at least 3 comforters on. Oh, the joys of a particularly cold winter. Closing my eyes, I heard the scratching. Slowly, it got louder. My hands began to shake, but I kept my eyes shut. Why wasn't I turning on the light? Why wasn't I looking? It was because it was a new sound. A kind of tinking, strange shaking, like a maraca full of metal instead of beans or beads. A loud thunk against my door made me leap up, turning on the flashlight. I managed to run to the light switch and flick it on as well. With an icy, trembling hand, I opened the door. What I then saw will never leave my mind. Right there was the source of my fear, the thing that somehow invaded my home. An oddly small, wolf-like creature, like a starving child with skin that was too pale, like a corpse dropped into water, for its skin was tinged with blue. Every vein was visible. Oh, how I wanted to gag at the sight, but it gets worse. Strategically placed in this demented creature's flesh, long metal nails were embedded through the tips of its fingers and its toes, sticking out of its neck and shoulders, down its chest and out of its eyes. Oh God, they were everywhere. How loudly I screamed, I didn't know. Would anyone be able to hear me through the thick fog surrounding my house? Would I hear me? I couldn't stop staring. The dried, cracking blood against the decaying flesh brought up my meal from earlier, and the gushing hot river of vomit poured out of my mouth and onto the ground. I backed up as the creature took a step towards me. Its lank hair was missing in chunks, and as it walked closer, its feet dragged upon the floor, making a scratching sound. Why I had to keep my room in such a state of continual chaos, I don't know, but the mess was astounding. So, of course, I fell. Scrambling back, I stared in horror at this thing. I then realized that it didn't move right. It didn't just walk. Its motions were snappy and disjointed. One foot dragged behind it, while the other advanced towards me. In its hand, there was a heavy, rusted hammer, dripping with what I hoped was water. What I hoped. It was slightly rust-colored. I couldn't bear to see it. But in the other, there was a plastic grocery bag that sagged and poked with the weight within it. I felt my back hit the wall behind me. The creature kept on moving forward. I was paralyzed with fear at the sight of it. It was so grotesque. In front of me, it stopped. I noticed the puncture marks upon its tiny calves where the nails were, and I felt a strange sense of pity. The bag in its hand split just a little, and the sight of what was within it made me let out an audible and most likely bile-scented groan. A nail had jutted out. I cried loudly as the thing pounced onto me, and I felt the first nail go into my eye. It was worse. Though the blood was blocking my vision, I could see its tiny mouth pulled back into a widely toothed smile, the nails in its lips making them split and gush rotten black blood down onto me. I moaned in pain again as the other nail entered my second eye. Blindly, I swatted, but it was to no avail. Perhaps it would be over soon. Perhaps death would be better than being tormented by this rotten thing. But still, the nails entered. Still, I cried out loudly, especially when I was dragged. I couldn't see where, but damn, it hurt. It's gone now, the nail child. I don't know where it went, but I know it went somewhere. And it'll be coming out at 3 o'clock. And so will I. I think you ought to check your clock. Because it looks like the bag in my hand is about to split. I'm so excited to see you.